Welcome to Pipin' Hot, where the takes are hot and the boys are not. Today's take is
Bacon for dinner.
What?
The takes are hot.
The boys are not.
Welcome to Pipin' Hot.
It's good to be back, ladies and gentlemen. Season 2.
We're back. Like the first episode was kind of, a little bit of a fun episode, and now we're back with Jaran Huggins.
Jaran.
I wish we had
Thank you,
I
guys.
wish
we had
we
like
need a cue. We need a
I
cue.
wish we had a sound effect. We gotta get a soundboard for season 3. Or if someone wants to donate
One day.
for season 2.
There you go. Open the door up. Thank you guys for having me. I'm
Of
excited.
course.
I'm super excited.
Of course, that's our pleasure.
We wanted you to be the premiere of season 2 as
Yes.
opposed to being, just sandwiched in season 1.
Also, we
and-
need to keep the 100% record of me only ever talking to Jaran through the podcast. So thank you for keeping the streak up. Appreciate that.
We did a draft
Yep.
together. We've done
Yep.
2 drafts together.
That's true. However,
That is
counts.
I was kind of engrossed in Bruce's dinner that he made me that night. So I'm not going to lie. I kind of forgot most of what happened. Bruce made a
Damn.
wild dinner for me. So
What
thank
was
you,
the dinner?
Bruce. The dinner he made it was like this bowl with chicken, he made fried chicken at home, but not like crispy American fried chicken, like General So type fried chicken with rice and rice nice vegetables. He did it up big. He really went
Damn.
Oh,
out.
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, he treated me
Dang.
right. So
Shout out Bruce.
Great
Well,
chef.
speaking of dinner, we should mention that we're changing up the format a little bit of the pod. So instead of
True.
peppers, I don't know. It felt like it was getting stale. The peppers literally were getting stale because I would get a bunch at a time.
Yes.
And then
True.
so instead, every episode we're gonna try a new spicy thing and just see how it goes. So today, I can't really we got ramen.
It's hard to do without spilling. We got
Okay.
hot ramen.
So
Ooh,
mine
that does
is
not look nice on camera. Sorry.
I know
Golly.
mine kind of just like sludge. It kind of feels like sludge too.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Hey guys.
What did
ASMR. a little bit of ASMR to put you to sleep.
Have you put anything in your ramen? What do you have in your ramen?
No, so I don't know what kind it is yet because it's not ramen. It's miso.
Oh.
Considered miso.
Oh.
Even though it looks,
Okay.
it doesn't really look like miso at all. Because during Temple has an activity fair at the beginning of the year, TU Palooza,
Mhm.
and Amazon Prime Student Services was giving out free goodie bags, and in
Oh,
it were
sure was.
for whatever reason were Taki potato chips, and this thing of spicy miso soup.
It's an interesting
So it
mix.
already says it's
Very
spicy.
interesting
Yeah,
mix.
yeah, it was an interesting. Yeah.
I would have saved the Takis because I hadn't had Takis in a long time. Forgot how good they are. They're pretty good.
Tacos are very good.
I'm a fan.
Bro, Taki's in the ramen.
Well, they're gone. I ate them all. This was a month ago.
Next time.
So I've
Okay,
been
fine. Next
saving
time.
this for
You've been
today.
saving this. That's sick.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I do. So it's considered spicy. So I do have Green Dragon hot sauce if necessary. But I will admit, I put this on all of my sandwiches now, so I am pretty
Ooh.
immune to this taste. If you want some,
Yeah,
it's
I've
good.
never had that. Okay.
It's Trader Joe's. It's I'm not a spice connoisseur. I don't know what spices.
I mean, you're making me feel like I'm lacking because I brought 4 hot sauces with me, and I figured that the group would kind of decide how spicy I need to make my noodles, but they're all
Okay.
red. I have
Well, we're going for
Cholula.
a different type then.
I got Cholula right here. Shout out Cholula, my
I
favorite
think
hot
Cholula's
sauce.
weird
and
on ramen though.
it is. I agree. I think it goes best with eggs.
See,
Yeah,
The best sauce
Yeah,
on ramen is sriracha, which I also have.
Agreed.
Yep.
I also have some sriracha. And then our roommates are.
Spicy enough though.
This was kind of an emergency buy because our grocery store was just out of Cholula forever. So I also got 2 flavors of Tabasco as well.
We've
I'm not huge on
established- we
Tabasco,
established last
but
episode.
I
I hate Tabasco.
don't know.
Do you really?
Oh my god, it's the.
I haven't
worst.
had much Tabasco
It's
in my
the worst.
time.
No, my take is that I think I said this last.
Change the take.
I was gonna
Is
say,
that
look.
It's not. It's not only that that Cholula is better than Tabasco. It's that Tabasco is straight up not even good. I do not like Tabasco. It has the worst aftertaste.
Damn.
Cholula fucking fire. Love Cholula.
Cholula goes
Lot of
good on
passion
almost everything.
Tabasco.
A lot of passion. It's
Not
a lot
so
of passion.
All right, I think I'm hungry. I also got chopsticks by accident. Not by accident. I meant to, but I feel like with the mic, it's gonna be hard to eat. I should have gotten a fork.
Might be a little
but,
challenging.
You know, I'm gonna
So
hold
wait,
it like
before
this.
before we get too
Bitch,
into
I'm
it though, we
so
need to determine
hungry.
how spicy I'm making this, because all this has in it. This is ramen, like just top ramen with meatballs, and then because of this episode, I put some bacon in it too.
Meatballs.
wish.
That sounds.
I put some
yeah.
bacon in it too, so it's bacon meatball ramen. It's a
Oh,
little
there you go.
weird, but I
That's
think
gonna lead to
you
my
know,
t-
add
that-
some
I'll
protein.
bring that up.
I mean, okay, if it's weird, I would just go. I would do Cholula and Sriracha. Just make it the weirdest.
You think like 50-50? Easy.
Yeah, because I feel like
like-
Sriracha's a little bit too weak. I mean, I think they're both like a little bit weak. You gotta put a good amount in there. So we're gonna
Alright,
determine how
so-
spicy this is, and if it's not spicy enough, I'll put in the Green Dragon. But
Oh my
I
God,
do
I'm gonna
have
try
the
to
Green
do all this on
Dragon
camera, but
for every sandwich that I eat. So, are you gonna?
I don't know if
doing it?
you guys aren't gonna be able to see me do it, but the audience
Alright,
will.
we're going.
So
I'm going in.
Go for it.
okay, when y'all see how much Cholula I put in here, no, I didn't fuck around. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if you guys can see that at all, but all right, hold on
Alright,
for
this
the
is pretty low.
audience.
All right, this isn't spicy at all.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
This
Oh,
is really
no.
not spicy at all.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean,
I
it's
just
good.
got the
It's a good
sriracha
flavor.
drippings.
I
Gross.
don't have sriracha actually. I wish we did.
Fellas, you
I'll
know
try
when you
that.
forget to shake a sauce
I've
and you
never
just
tried
get
it.
like the liquid?
I've never had it. I'm curious.
I'm gonna bring it out
Gross.
too because it's not spicy enough.
Thank
It's a little bit of a different flavor. The
For
Green
those of you
Dragon's
still
not
with
super
us, welcome to the
spicy.
Piping Hot Mukbang.
Yeah, this is a mukbang episode.
Oh,
The Green Dragon. I mean, it's probably named something else, but it's Trader Joe's, so they give it their own name.
Ooh,
Yeah, honestly.
this kind of fucks, you know.
Is it really?
The 50-50 Cholula Sriracha actually tastes pretty good together.
I gotta mix this up. Okay, while we're doing this, we're changing the
Yeah.
format of the episode a little bit too because most of the time we end with this, but I feel like we want to start with this now to get the conversation going. We're gonna
Hell
do
yeah.
what's hot for you. So Jaran has one. Jaran has a pretty good one that I can
Yeah.
offer a little bit of input. I don't know if you can, but what's
Yeah.
hot for you this week?
Yeah, you
Let's
know,
get straight into it.
I got into Squid Game this week. Very hooked.
Had to talk about it.
Yeah, it had to come up. You know,
come up.
it had to come
Had
up.
to.
This is spoiler free, by the way, other than the first
No
two
spoilers.
episodes,
No spoilers.
because
I finished it
I've only seen the first two.
in 4 days. It may sound like a lot. It was great. I mean, it was great.
Well, the
Like,
Green Dragon actually complements this really well.
does it really?
And
I'm
it adds some
excited.
spice.
I'm very excited to try it. But yeah, that's what's hot for me this week.
What stands out to you
Hell
about
yeah.
Squid Game? Why do you like it?
Oh, I mean, first of all, it's different, and it's something I always love when we get other content, international content. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I love what it does. I love the anticipation. I love the writing. I like seeing new faces on screen. And I love the plot. It's very Hunger Games-esque, but it's very original. So
Right.
highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, Cam, I highly recommend it.
Have you? Have you started?
I actually haven't. I've seen, you know, it's crazy. I got on Squid Game TikTok, and I guess I kept watching them for too long. So I feel like I've like watched a lot of the
Ah.
show already.
So you know what
But,
happens, basically. Like,
I know a lot of what happens.
I got
We got a text from the expert.
we got people
Go on,
buzzing in.
text!
This is for later in the episode.
People
we
are
can't spoil
buzzing
it yet.
in.
Yeah, this is gonna
I think
come
what's
back.
really nice about Squid Game is that I think it's super cool that the Netflix's biggest release now is not American. I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Yeah.
That like people like that, you know, a Korean show, something with subtitles is the like that's dope as hell.
It's also, it's funny that you compare it to Hunger Games, because I heard that Squid Games was written like 8 or 9 years ago, like kind of right when
yeah.
Hunger Games was coming out, and like only recently to get picked up. So like it makes total sense. Like it's not a ripoff really. It was just like what people were making then with like, you know, it kind of gave way to whole like battle royale genre pretty much. So like that idea,
yeah,
I feel like was very fitting of the time. But I'm excited to
No,
watch
yeah,
it. I need to get on that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's very addicting. Like you'll get hooked. The way that it's laid out is very cool. It's very cool, and they're opening up. I heard season 2 now. Apparently, it's like in talks.
Whoa.
They're in talks
Dang.
for season 2. I don't know if that's confirmed,
Okay.
but the writer has like I think he's been influenced and persuaded to start writing season 2,
that
which
that Netflix money is gonna get
because the way this is not a spoiler, but it ends like needing a season 2. Like it ends on a cliffhanger. So
I do love ambiguous endings. though.
exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm into it. I feel
I
like I,
feel like
wasn't
totally
super into the
could.
first episode because I had seen so much about it. Like most of the memes around it are from the first episode. So I like knew too much, and so I was like interested. It's like good, and then I was like, yeah. and Will said that the second episode was really boring, and turns out I loved the second episode. It was great. Character study. Had some moments of gore that were just like so out of the blue that they were way more effective to me than the first episode.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I'm very curious about the rest of the series.
The Fly Me to the Moon sequence.
That was
First
fun.
episode. Oh my gosh.
That was fun. The little I
Beautiful.
want that diorama
Beautiful.
that he has.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
That was so
beautiful.
funny.
Just beautiful. Work of art.
All right, so kind of going along with Squid Game a little bit. My what's hot for you this week is horror movies in general.
Oh nice.
Because it is currently October, and dude, the noise is just so potent in my ear. It's just so, it's just right there. It's like you're right in the room with me. I try not to, unless it's a new release. I try not to watch horror movies throughout the year, and then I only watch them in October. And I love horror movies, so I like binge them in October. I've never done 31 Days of October. I've never gotten there. And currently, it is the 13th, and I have seen 14 horror movies this month.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
What's been your favorite so far?
So my favorites, so I did a couple repeats. So my repeats were like all ones I like. So Scream, Evil Dead,
Oh, yeah.
Trick or
yeah.
Treat, Halloween. Oh, I haven't seen Halloween yet. Saw. So the new ones that I loved, not fully horror, but more horror elements, is Black Swan.
Okay. Okay.
Have you seen it?
I have not.
Love Black Swan. Great. And
Nice.
then my other favorite one I watched the other night is My Bloody Valentine. Slapped so hard.
Okay. Okay.
It's so goofy and over the top, but it's like I do really like, the 80s era slasher. It was just fun. Like it had some really great kills. Some of them were pretty gruesome too. Not too gory, but like the implications of them. So I've had a good time. Let's say I've seen
You watched some
Possessor.
classics this month.
I
I
feel
feel like you've watched a lot of. You've like gone back and watched a lot of the classics.
Yeah.
But I feel like I gotta ask this because one of our favorite movies is a horror movie. So how is the movies you've watched this month compared to The Babysitter?
Okay. I think this should be a whole episode at some point. I love The Babysitter.
I would love to get into that conversation too.
I think The Babysitter fucking rocks. And are
So
you
good.
anti-babysitter or pro-babysitter?
I mean, I'm not anti. I'm
Okay.
definitely not anti.
Okay, 'cause we've had this argument with other people that we think The Babysitter is intentionally tongue-in-cheek. Like, that it knows what it is. Other people think it's
100%.
not self-aware. So I love The Babysitter.
I think it does.
Compared to The Babysitter, I actually think My Bloody Valentine fits into it really well. My Bloody Valentine is similar in the sense that it's like very kind of self-aware of the fact that it's a slasher. It gives you like those gory kills that you like. The characters are like likable in a very naive, dumb, teenager-y way. The setup is also really fun. Like there's just some certain points in it where you're like, they're doing this, like hell yeah, like thank God. So I love the cheesy horror movies. I watched a movie last night called Ghost Encounters, which is like a parody of those ghost hunting shows,
Nice.
which is similar to The Babysitter, not quite as good, but it was like cute in its effort. I think it's good. Like, I mean, that feels undermining, but it is good.
It's not Malignant.
I love Malignant. That's also what's hot for me. But I said
That was an L. Malignant was kind of an L. Malignant's kind of an L of a horror
I agree
movie.
with that.
Yeah, see?
I agree with that. I see what it does. I respect I respect like your opinion on it. But it is, I mean,
Get off my show.
But it is it's a little bit of an L. It's like
kind
it's
of
a
an
little
L,
too
right?
intentional. It's too intentional.
Malignant is just a fun, over-the-top, silly
Appreciate
horror movie. And I watched Saw afterwards, and I do think Saw and
Saw's better.
Malignant are. I agree. Saw's better. But I think those two are James Wan's best efforts, which is controversial because I'm not a Conjuring fan. I don't really like the Conjuring.
Oh.
We do have some Conjuring stands. We've had some Conjuring stands on this pod, so that is a hot take. I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Who you?
I've blacked out all of season 1. I've blacked out all of season 1.
They'll be on. They'll be back on eventually. So.
All right. What's hot for you this week? Because I want to take.
Mine is a
your
little bit of a
advice in my
deviation. Mine's a little bit of a deviation. Everyone's been going with like film and TV. I don't think we've talked about this on the pod really, which is a bit of a shame. But bro, I've been into Legos, bro. I got a.
Oh fuck! Yeah. Sorry, I want to keep eating, but I just needed to react.
JB for my birthday got me a Lego X-Wing set, and
Oh
I
my
was
God.
obsessed.
Wow.
It is the coolest
Wow.
thing ever.
How big?
I've got it on display. It's like the first thing you see when you walk into my room now. It's so sick, and
Wow.
it came at a
Oh, you
time
did?
where I was like,
Okay.
I was like watching Visions, like Star Wars Visions, and I just started reading the Rogue One novel as like just the thing to read like before I go to sleep. So it's like it's been very Star Wars heavy recently. But dude, I kind of forgot how sick Legos could be. Like I was into it. Like building it so fun, and then you just have like a model X-wing. It's cool. It's sick. It's the
Yeah,
sickest thing.
yeah.
So I think this is open
Were you a Lego
Pandora's
kid?
box
I
a little
was.
bit.
I was. Yeah.
Hell
Legos
yeah.
We're dope. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I can appreciate that. I can totally appreciate that. And it never gets old. That's proof.
It
That's
never gets
proof that
old.
Mm-mm.
it's never gonna die off. It's never gonna.
When
No.
we went
It's
our
too sick.
Also, I'm gonna mute this because our expert keeps texting, blowing up my phone. When we went on our boys trip, I impulse bought Legos for the first time in a very long time. I
Mhm.
got like a big Thanos figure where
Oh, fun.
I did
So
that,
cool.
and then we found.
Fun.
Have you? I'll show you when we leave. It's,
Okay.
it's in the living room. Big Thanos one, and then I wanted to match it with the Iron Man one, and we couldn't find it. Was I walking around with you, or I was with JB? I think right. You and Will were getting
We were-
something else,
Yes, Will and I were. Well, yeah, you were with JB at that moment. Yeah.
and JB and I like went because I got it at Walmart, and then we went. I was like, all right, if we go back to Walmart, because the side of the box had all the other ones, so I was like, if we go back to Walmart, I'm gonna get Iron Man. We went back, and Iron Man was nowhere to be found. And then we moved one of the boxes out of the way, and it was hidden.
Wow.
And we found one Iron Man.
Wow. Of course you had to.
So I got.
Yeah.
Iron
It
Man,
was meant to be,
Thanos,
frankly.
Exactly.
there. I think Thanos is cooler because he has the gauntlet and it's like really big. But
And
It's
it's
you know,
more
pretty cool.
challenging too, right?
a little bit. I mean, they're both really small because they
Oh, okay,
they have
okay.
it's basically like mech suits for the minifigure. So it's like the minifigure's there, and they have like a big suit, and then so like you built the Thanos glove, and then you built like the arc reactor and the hand for Iron Man. But they also had. I was tempted to get Peter Parker and Miles Morales,
Oh.
but
Oh.
I thought the mech suit felt more natural for Iron Man and Thanos for whatever reason. I don't know why.
It does.
But like,
I kind of agree with that. I can see
although
that.
the Miles minifigure in that
Mm.
set is different than the normal minifigure because he has a hood on.
Oh
And
snap.
I was like, oh.
That would
and I
have
was
been
like,
cool.
where-
That would have been real
The
cool.
only other place you can find that minifigure is in the $300 Daily Bugle set. And I really want the Daily Bugle set because it's a big set. It has like 26 minifigures. It's got like all the Spider people.
Mhm.
It's got like Daredevil and Punisher and J.J. Jameson.
So
like, oh my
sick.
God. It's a crazy
So
set.
cool. Yeah, man, I'm back into it. I feel like this has just opened the floodgates. Like,
I'm okay
I mean,
with-
right now
you
it's
know, let's talk about
dangerous. Like, once I have a,
Legos.
let's just talk about Lego. Oh wait, okay, hold on. Just before we get into the actual meat and potatoes of this episode, I think it has to be brought up. If we're talking about Legos, were you all Lego kids or Bionicle kids?
I would say Lego.
Legos,
probably.
yeah,
I
Legos.
had one Bionicle, I
Ooh.
think. And I had one Bionicle. My friend James was really into Bionicles and had like all the movies. And we watched all the Bionicle
Knew the
movies.
lore.
Knew the
Nice,
lore.
Yeah.
I had a I still have it in my basement, a Lego Hogwarts set and a Lego
Nice.
like Diagon Alley set.
Yeah.
Those were my
I
big
feel
ones,
that.
I think.
I was into like Legos, like architecture Legos.
Whoa.
So like buildings
Mm.
and stuff. I
Those are
always thought
super
that was
cool.
cool.
So you were productive.
I would try. I would try.
Have you seen that they're like marketing sets like that to adults now?
Yeah,
They're, like adult
yeah.
sets.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
you can build like plants. Like
It's
Yeah,
so
I don't.
cool.
I
It is
forgot
pretty
how
cool.
fun it is to build a Lego set.
Yeah,
Like when
no,
I
it is.
the Thanos
So
ones were like
fun.
it was like small, and but when I got it, I mean it took whatever like 20 minutes, but it was like fun as hell.
Yeah,
So-
Lego is doing it right. Mass appeal. It looks sick once it's built, and
They're
it's
still
fun to
doing it
build.
right. There's a ton of Ghostbusters
Doing so
sets.
well.
I was waiting for somebody in the mall when I was home over the summer, and I went into the Lego store because I was just like bored. They got some good sets.
Yeah.
They got some
Yeah.
fun
Mhm.
ones.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for the
It is
superhero
remarkable.
Marvel sets, but they like I follow this one girl. I don't know if you've ever seen her on TikTok, either of you, but she's like this girl. She's probably our age, maybe a little older. she's got to be filming on like a BlackBerry. Like it is like grainy as fuck, and she works at like a Walmart or something. I forget where she works, but she just is a Lego Ninjago account. Like all she does is talk about the lore of Lego Ninjago and like brings them up. Like and I don't know anything about Ninjago, and I'm like digging it. It is awesome.
Yeah, they
shout
got it
out.
down.
That's also what's happening. I
love
don't
that.
know her handle. I'll try and find it for next episode. Hey Cam,
Hey, Casey.
you know what I hate?
When an ad interrupts your favorite podcast, I hate that.
Absolutely. And that's why today's episode is brought to you by Pipin' Hot. We want to take some time to ask you, the listeners, to give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscription, a comment. Any type of engagement helps us out, and we really love hearing from you, the listeners.
And we want to say thank you to all the listeners who've already listened this far into the podcast. And now it's time for us to stop being such hypocrites and get back to the episode.
Back to the main event. All right, yeah, because so we're moving on. We're moving on to the hot take itself.
The
And
take
the
the
intro
day.
is a little bit vague on what the hot take is.
It is a little
So give us a little bit of a rundown
Okay.
and give us some of your reasonings.
Okay. So, when I was thinking about reasons to or like some hot takes about for being on this show and everything, I was eating bacon, but I was
Okay.
eating bacon on pizza, and so it kind
Ooh.
of hit me that I was
Damn.
like, wait, bacon is actually kind of better at night, like in dinner or lunch, than it is for breakfast. There's more options,
Okay.
right? There's more options. Like if I had to choose to only eat bacon in the morning or the afternoon/evening, it would be the afternoon/evening. There's more options. You can put it on ramen, like he has it on ramen.
True, that's what I'm
Put it
doing right
on.
now.
Is it weird? Is it good?
It's pretty damn good. I can't lie. I haven't done it
See?
before, but it's really
You
good.
can put like bacon bits on like baked potatoes, pizza, burger.
Yeah.
I mean, really anything. I mean, yeah, breakfast. You got sandwiches and like omelets and whatever. But when you think about it, when you really think about it, where's like the real flavor? Where's the real value? You know? And I think it's in dinner foods.
This
Well,
is very interesting.
That's my hot take. I'm curious to know thoughts. I can go on. I can go on.
I will keep
off.
going.
But
I will keep going. And I could keep going on.
and I could yeah. Literally. So
Okay.
Hmm.
I feel like you had something. You looked like you were about to say something.
Well, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I just need to, I feel like this is the first time where I really kind of strongly disagree with the guest hot take. I feel like recently we've been on a streak of like being pretty agreeable.
I think that's a
But
good
I
thing.
feel like I've
Yeah,
got
that's
some,
great. It's a good
I've
thing.
got
That's
some
great. I
like
think that
points
keeps
of
it going.
contention.
I'm a little in the middle.
So I'm curious where you
I feel like
stand,
I'm
'cause
gonna
I don't
need
wanna
get
give-
swayed.
Okay, so if you're in the
I'm
middle, then I can give my
lukewarm.
points.
I'm
Okay.
lukewarm. So you go first, and then I'll tell you why I'm, lukewarm both
Perfect.
ways.
Okay. So I feel like there are two major reasons why I think bacon goes better with breakfast. Like if I had to decide in your situation, I would choose bacon with breakfast, I think.
Right.
And this is because for two main reasons. Number one, bacon on its own is better with breakfast because of how basic breakfast is. So like there aren't that many breakfast foods out there. So to eliminate the whole group of bacon would really limit what I eat for breakfast on a regular basis. But like you could just have like bacon and eggs and that's a breakfast. But if I just had to limit that to eggs every time, I'd be a little sad. The second part,
That's a good argument. Go ahead. Sorry. Go
yep. The second part, bacon really elevates the breakfast foods you pair it with. Like a bacon, egg, and cheese without bacon is way worse than like pizza without bacon. Like pizza without bacon is still pizza.
Also a good.
A burger without bacon is still a burger. But a bacon, egg, and cheese without bacon is just an egg and cheese sandwich, and that's nowhere near the same quality. So I feel like I
Okay.
don't know, bacon's got a lot of power with when it's with breakfast.
Yeah, I
I
feel
see what
like.
you're saying. I see what you're saying.
So okay, so I think I lean more towards that. First of all, can you hear my stomach? Already the miso's not sitting well. It's like gurgling a little bit. Okay, so I think I sway more towards pro breakfast because I feel like there are, like you said, there's so many options for dinner that there's limited options for breakfast, and I don't want to take away a breakfast food. Like bacon's a breakfast food. That's where a lot of the protein comes in. And so I don't want to say just because there are more options for dinner and they go well on those options, I feel like breakfast only has so many, so I want to leave it at breakfast. Again, what you said, I like bacon on its own. I love a bacon cheeseburger. I love a black and blue burger.
So good.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes because it's on a burger, the bacon can get a little bit washed out. You can't taste it as well. And so I do like eating bacon on its own. And I feel like you do really only do that during breakfast. So I feel like you lose a little bit by saying that, not saying that it's better on dinner stuff, but saying that you would prefer only having it on dinner than only having it on breakfast. Because there's also not a lot of protein options. I guess eggs, but like not a lot of protein options for breakfast other than eggs and bacon. Right? There's like sausage, but
pretty much the only things I will say, because I feel like you're gonna have a strong argument. You gotta also anticipate the counter argument. So I'll kind of give a point to Jaren's cause here, because I feel like with breakfast, bacon is kind of like that one unhealthy thing. Like eggs, pretty healthy. Like it's just protein, a little bit of good cholesterol for you. You know, like toast, like sure, it's like pretty much like whole wheat. Like it's usually pretty good. But dinner, if you start including like, you know, you're already eating like meats that are pretty like, you know, red meat that's kind of bad for you sometimes, or like foods that are otherwise. So why not just do it big? Why not just have everything bad for you with dinner? So you have like a healthy breakfast, healthy lunch, but then dinner is the time where you go like really meat crazy.
Interesting.
Especially with older folks, where like meat like that is kind of like you got to eat it in moderation. It's like you don't want to eat that throughout the day. You just want to eat it all at once at the end of your day when you've had a long, stressful day at work. So I could see that. But I just think bacon pairs better with breakfast foods.
No, and that's a good point. And I anticipated that argument. I anticipated the counter argument. Because the thing is, like, I personally am not like a huge bacon person, like by itself. So like I like it paired with stuff. And so like I think it goes better paired with stuff with dinner than it would with breakfast. Now with breakfast, it can stand. I think like you said, it can stand on its own. Because of that, it's like a predominantly, I would think a lot of people would agree, a predominantly breakfast food anyway. Yeah. But I think that for people that don't just want to eat bacon alone, there are more options. Rather for dinner, whether that makes the bacon lose its value or not, like whatever. But I definitely think that for somebody or for people who don't like bacon alone, than dinner, like bacon with dinner. I know a lot of people that like bacon on dinner foods, but would never really eat it for breakfast.
I mean, okay, I will say that I think that's interesting, that it's like underrated for dinner.
Very.
The other part of my argument for breakfast is that eggs on their own are disgusting. I love eggs. I eat eggs all the time. Oh, I love eggs.
Yeah. Oh, hell no.
You ever just eat eggs? Your mouth
every morning, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot.
Wait, you ain't cooking it right. If it's mealy, we gotta talk about your chefing of the eggs.
That's right. Yeah, how are you making it? How are you making it?
Okay.
How are you making
it? Hold on.
That's a good point.
You can't be coming for eggs when it's a chef problem.
Hold on.
Very true. That's very true.
I need something like with the eggs. So eggs on their own, you start to like think about the fact that, you know, they're eggs and you're like, it's a little gross. I had eggs so much growing up that I think my mouth was just like, you have had too many eggs. And so I need, like, if I'm making like scrambled eggs, like there's got to be some cheese in it. Like I can't do it without cheese. It's got to complement. If I can't have cheese, like when I'm at your place and you're like, no cheese, then, I mean, hot sauce is a good option. I do use hot sauce for the most part.
Hot sauce is great. Hot sauce and scrambled eggs could get me through the toughest times, for real.
Like eggs, like with a bacon, egg, and cheese. It's like that's great. You know, it is the hearty part of that sandwich. But just eggs on their own, I think, kind of irk me a little bit. Not that I think they're necessarily disgusting. I just think they kind of like give me the ick a little bit. So I think they need to be complemented by something like bacon. Whereas most dinner foods, I don't think they need to be complemented by bacon. They're improved by bacon. Nothing is not improved by bacon. You know, catch me on that 2012 iFunny type. But I just think it's better with breakfast.
But okay. First of all, that was very subjective. Okay, but first of all,
this is a very subjective podcast.
Let's not discount and discredit breakfast. All right, there are a lot of breakfast foods that go beyond bacon. There are a lot of them.
I like where we're going with this.
There really are. You know what I mean? Like dinner, there's a lot of options. Lunch, I would agree that lunch and dinner may have more options.
Yep.
There's more variety. There's more opportunity to intersect and like to mix like the options of the foods and everything. But breakfast also has a lot of options.
It does.
Breakfast, I mean, I could list. I'm not going to, but I could list
Please do.
15, 20 breakfast items. Like you go, there are restaurants specifically for breakfast.
Sure.
And just like there are restaurants specifically for dinner.
Yeah, but there are
You know what I mean?
restaurants specifically for dinner, and there are so many variations of those dinner restaurants. If you go to a breakfast
True.
restaurant, it's more or less the same menu,
Mm-hmm.
barring a few
You're talking
cultural
about
differences.
like like you're talking about like ethnic style of like culture.
Ethnic styles of food for sure. I mean, but I'm actually, I'm gonna negate this argument because there's also that for breakfast. It's just we don't have enough restaurants for it.
That's exactly
For
what
the
I was.
most part.
That's very true.
We don't
That is
really-
very true.
I saw
That's a
some
whole nother
TikTok-
conversation. Where are the
There's a whole
ethnic
noth-
breakfast restaurants?
Where are the? Okay,
Where are they?
I watched
Where
a
are they?
video-
What
I
happened
watched a
to
video
them?
Where they
Where
at?
are
of
they?
some guy like making like breakfast ramen, so it had like eggs and like glass noodles and whatever. And he was like, I do this for every breakfast because it's like low calorie and it's easy to eat. And I was like, damn, I need to be doing that. Like that looks good as hell for breakfast. I feel like my palate is like not ready for a lot of foods when I wake up, so there's only a few things that I can eat. But maybe that's why eggs don't sit right with me all the time.
What really qualifies as breakfast anyway?
Mm.
God damn.
You gotta want it when you wake up. I think that's what it is.
You gotta hit him with that Taco Bell. That ad
Yeah.
campaign sucks.
That
I
ad
hate
campaign.
That ad campaign. It's the worst.
It's horrible.
What,
But like, I
yeah,
think
you
that's why
got-
so many things can fly as breakfast. Because like, pizza is traditionally a dinner food, but don't tell me you've never had pizza for breakfast. Like sometimes you wake up and you're like, damn, that leftover
Hey,
pizza
man,
that's
you
what-
need to
kind
cut
of
that-
crazy.
you
That's
need
what
to
I'm
cut the
saying.
breakfast pizza shit out.
That-
It
no,
is
no,
not
no.
that common.
But that's exactly what I'm saying.
No, I'm talking about it's like
There
leftover
are-
pizza, not
That's
the
right.
breakfast
Oh,
pizza.
okay.
No, but he's right. He's right. Like you can have a breakfast burrito, right? Like you could like.
Agreed. I
like,
do
there-
that very often.
Mhm.
Yeah, like there are
Absolutely.
a lot more opportunities to create
Fan of
breakfast.
burritos.
But then again, I will take the other side too and say that you can also have breakfast for dinner. So like it does kind of
Yeah.
go both ways.
True.
But I see that argument.
But when you
too.
think, when someone says dinner, I feel like the amount of different things that somebody's gonna think about. Let's just go strictly for the United States. Let's just talk from
Mhm.
from where we can speak from. Most people are gonna say something different. Some people are gonna say pizza. Some people are gonna say burgers. Some people are gonna say meatloaf. Whatever. If you say breakfast, most people are either gonna think of something involving eggs, burrito, sandwich, omelet, Benedict, or pancake waffles. Like it's one of the two, and then bacon, is kind of a side dish or varied in there. So I feel like the variations, it's kind of the whole like, you can mix and match and create a ton of different things, but the basis, for the most part, not all that many options. There's like a couple. Whereas dinner, I think there's so many base options that the amount of mix and matching is even more so. It's exponential. It just goes up.
I actually, the more I
That's
think
fair.
about this, the more I'm not sure that dinner is so, like, varied. Like, when you think about breakfast, you got, like,
Do go on.
you've got, like, your eggs, right? Like, staple. You got, like, kind of your more, like, pancake, waffle type situations. You've
Yeah.
got your cereals. You have, like,
Oh, I
these
did forget
things
about
that can be
cereal.
made,
I forgot about
Very-
cereal.
all cereals.
right? You've got these
Pastries.
things that can be made into many different forms. Pastries,
jam.
exactly.
Forgot about all that.
Let's think about dinner, though. Let's think about it. Let's think about it. How
I
many
do smoothies all the time.
Fruits, yeah.
dinner foods are the same thing in different variations? Like, how many things are just a meat base? Sometimes it's meat on its own. Sometimes it's meat between two pieces of bread. Like, when you boil it down, like, the amount of things of our dinners that are just beef, like, are probably equal to the amount of things for breakfast we eat that are just eggs. So, like, ultimately, like, the key
Yeah.
ingredients are pretty much the same between breakfast
He's right.
and dinner.
Yeah.
I would say
I just
that,
think people
like,
are more likely to have the same breakfast every day than to have the same dinner. Like, I've almost exclusively had oatmeal for breakfast for the past year because it's just easy and convenient for me. But I don't think I've had the same dinner over the
True.
past year. I'd say I've had
True.
like 20 to 30 different dinners. And I think
Mhm.
that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say that like.
The reluctance in that, yeah.
Okay,
Just, oh.
I was lukewarm on this to begin with. I'm allowed to go wherever I want.
Go.
Um,
Go off. Go off. Let them know.
Now's your chance. This is the
Yeah.
place.
Speak your mind.
Okay, I feel like the variations of eggs to me, like
Back to
it's
eggs.
still like an egg but in a different shape. Whereas meat has so many different
Oh.
connotations to it.
Hmm.
What this time?
Mm-mm.
What do you want from me?
Wait. Can you say that? Say
Hold
that.
on, well, yeah,
Say
what-
that.
Like
Yeah, say that again.
an
Say so
egg.
people know exactly what you're saying before I counter this.
You cook an egg.
Yeah.
it always tastes like an egg. It's just in different shapes and different consistencies. What? It always tastes like an egg.
The pain.
What is wrong
the
with
pain.
my statement?
This man does not cook his eggs right. Casey, what you talking
What am I
about? Eggs always
doing?
taste the same.
It's the chef. It's the
Teach
chef.
me how to
It's
cook
the
an
chef.
egg.
It's
Teach
the
me how to cook
chef.
an egg right
Dude,
now.
next time you're
what am
here, I
doing
will
wrong?
teach you how to make eggs.
Tell me how to make eggs. Tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Apparently, your eggs come out mealy. So for starters, whatever you're
My
doing is
mouth
just
feels
wrong.
mealy. The egg is not mealy. There is a difference. My mouth feels mealy after eating fried food. Doesn't mean the fried food is mealy. It is an adjective to describe the way my mouth feels.
You're very passionate about eggs. Like tonight, I mean, everything is like it's so.
Don't get
It's,
me wrong, I'm not anti-egg.
so like
I love an
it's
egg.
like so like.
It
eggs
sounded
is
like you're a little bit anti-egg over here.
I'm not anti-egg. I'm just saying what I believe to be factual.
It sounds like eggs is like your justification for like breakfast, right? Like eggs.
egg
like,
is breakfast. Egg equals breakfast.
But you can
Egg
eat
is
eggs
breakfast.
but you can eat eggs like in dinner foods also. There are a lot of
True.
dinner
Oh,
foods
true.
where
Absolutely.
eggs are like
Yeah.
very prominent.
Absolutely.
Actually, some cultures where egg is specifically a dinner food.
There was one.
Dinner
My
breakfast food.
Julie's friend came over and cooked some like I think it's like a traditionally like either Jewish dish or like Arabic dish. I kind of forget where, but it's like somewhere in the Middle East, and it's like eggs and sort of like a red tomato sauce with like rice and
Ooh.
I
Sounds good.
tomato sauce is kind of discrediting it. It's like better. It's richer than that. It was like one of the best meals I've ever had.
I
It was
bet.
delicious. Oh my god.
Sounds
very
really
good.
good. I'm flabbergasted right now. Like when
I guess the reason that meats taste different to me is because they're just spiced differently.
like I don't understand. So like when you eat like an eggs Benedict versus when you just have a plate of scrambled eggs, you think
An
like
Eggs
these
Benedict
taste pretty much the
tastes
same
different because
thing.
of the hollandaise sauce.
But like that's
why
what
an
just
Eggs
like the
Benedict
poached
tastes
egg.
differently.
Anytime that there's just like a poached egg, and that's just the one example I came up with was like eggs Benedict because that's a prominent
Right,
like
okay,
poached
sure.
egg. Like, but when you have an egg
So
in
a
that
poached egg.
context, a poached egg. We'll just go with
Yeah.
a poached egg. That computes the same way as a scrambled egg for you.
It tastes very similar. Am I wrong?
I
What is
don't
wrong
know
with me
about
here?
that. I think
Oh,
that's
I don't know.
wrong.
I-
I don't think they
it's-
do. I
it's-
think they couldn't be different. More different.
Yeah.
Freudian slip.
I
Like a
mean,
poached egg
I wanna
tastes
see
completely
both
different to
your sides of
scrambled
the
eggs.
angle.
I too,
like.
yeah.
I'm not saying that they taste exactly the same, but like a yolk tastes like a yolk. The white tastes like a white. So scrambled eggs, it's like mostly yolk or mixed together, so you mainly taste the yolk. So it
I see
tastes
how
like an
I
egg.
see how you
like-
can say that. I see how you can say that.
Like a hard-boiled egg tastes like an egg. It's just harder.
But
'Cause I
you're
feel like,
saying
I feel
that.
like the
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cam. My bad.
oh, so I didn't mean to. I just feel like when you have like a poached egg versus a scrambled egg is way different to me than like meatloaf versus a hamburger. Going back to like
Well, that's
breakfast
'cause
and
you're
dinner, like when you
comparing-
have that, like when you look at the key ingredients of a dinner, they all taste the same regardless of how
'cause you're
you
comparing
vary it.
two
But
forms
eggs
of
itself
ground
can be
beef.
varied.
You're comparing two forms of ground beef, but like a hamburger versus a steak, I don't know. That tastes different to me. Tastes more different. Maybe that tastes similar. They're both beef.
I mean, yeah, but
I feel like they're
but
pretty similar.
So you're saying, but
But
you're
we
giving.
said meat, so I'm like chicken comparatively.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, two different forms of meat. So you're saying like the egg like argument to say what? Like what's?
I'm
like,
saying the chicken came first.
God damn it.
All right, that's the end of the episode. No.
Pain.
I'm saying
Mic
okay.
drop.
Well, first of all, I think we've lost track of the argument.
Yeah, this went on a tangent.
Yeah, this
about
became very
eggs.
egg centric.
I like breakfast and dinner about the same. So I don't know what we were arguing. I just think eggs taste similar regardless of form.
I just got really
So I
heated
like
when we
them.
brought
It
up.
became an entirely different.
I
hot
like
take.
them for breakfast and dinner. Like they're great, fine. Like I almost put an egg in the ramen. Like great.
Oh, that goes crazy. That
You
that
can't.
I
Oh,
could've
it
done
does.
that.
Yeah,
I
that it
should've
does.
done
awesome.
It does. It does.
So good.
But we've lost bacon completely. We've gone to egg.
We have lost.
We did forget about bacon. Bacon is really good. I just happen to believe it pairs better and typically makes a breakfast better than it does with dinner foods.
Okay,
So
wait.
I
do
could
you want to
see-
hear, Jaran, though, from your perspective?
Mhm.
We've mentioned burgers and pizza. Like, where else
Okay.
do you think bacon improves dinner?
A salad.
Well, true,
True.
absolutely.
you can put
Noodles.
it in noodles. Yeah. A baked potato.
Pretty good.
Baked potato
Baked potato.
does hit.
I'm telling you.
I mean, all these are good options. I'm liking all these.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else. I've definitely had bacon in other food forms, like dinner food.
You can like wrap other meats in bacon when it
Oh,
cooks,
that's
and that's
true.
really good.
That is
So,
true.
Like the
Jalapeno
bacon
poppers?
That is true.
infusion.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
so
very
good.
true. Like I know it like Sonic, like you can get like the grilled cheese things where like I think they
Ooh.
have like the bacon or whatever like in the grilled cheese. So you can put them in
That
grilled
sounds
cheeses
so
like
good.
Side note,
A grilled cheese.
me and my roommate went to. Have you been to Crunch Chicken yet? The
No, I
Korean
haven't.
place on Cecil. There's a new Korean place on Cecil. We went,
Ooh.
and they sell mozzarella sticks like on a stick, so it's like a corn dog, but it's just cheese
Oh, wow.
inside.
Oh my
I'm very
goodness!
excited. I haven't eaten it yet. I'm very excited about it though. It's
Oh,
only
that
like
sounds
$6.
amazing.
Imagine
sounds
that wrapped
very
in
good.
bacon.
That's what I'm saying. Wrapped in bacon.
Okay,
Exactly.
I will
Exactly.
say that I think one of the greatest foods of all time is a jalapeno popper. So
Mm.
bacon, jalapeno, cream cheese. Come on.
Yeah, I can't necessarily argue that.
Hey Casey,
Hey Cam,
you know what I love doing on this show?
what do you love doing on this show?
I love telling the listeners what all of our friends and family are doing creatively these days.
Me too. And that's why this is our season 2 installment of Cam and Casey's Creative Corner, where we get to shout out what our friends and family are doing creatively. And the person shouting out today is our special guest, Jaran.
What's up, guys? I want to shout out my guy, Jaran Sellers, Chris Sellers. He is a Temple University student, up and coming rapper. You can follow him on Instagram at Jaran Sellers for all his latest music. You can find a link. I think it's in his bio. He's got some dope tracks on there. Check him out before he blows up. Hop on the bandwagon now. So
And I'm not gonna let him pass by. I'm gonna shout out Jaran himself. I'm gonna give him. You gotta look up Dorito on YouTube. Insane. That's Hype Productions on Instagram for all the music, all the movies, and just Jaran Huggins on Instagram, right?
yeah, that's
Just
true.
Jaran Huggins on Instagram. So Jaran and
Thank
Jawan.
you. Jaran and Jawan.
Back to the show.
Thank you, guys.
All right. We wrapped up our bacon debate. Nobody won. I
No.
was not swayed either way. Both options were good.
Honestly, I wasn't really. I mean, I came in with a side
And you've now
and got
gone middle?
yeah, I kind of got swayed a little bit, but not fully, but a tad.
All right.
I'll take that.
So now we're gonna do. We're now gonna do Drop It Like It's Hot. Final segment of the show, and this time you've heard from our expert. Or no, you're gonna hear from our expert.
They're gonna
Where are
hear.
we putting
I
this?
think they should.
You're gonna hear
They're
from
about
our
to.
expert. You're about to hear from our expert. I have broken out the jersey, which I know. So there's a little hint as to what it's about. So let's get into it right now.
Wow, thank you. It's a honor to be here. Alright, slow down, guys. Okay, wow. Casey, Cam, thank you guys for having me on the show. It's an honor to be our first surprise guest you're reacting to live. I'm live myself right now, off the cuff, on the show. You know how it goes. Let's get right into it. Can we talk about the Baltimore Ravens, please? Okay. Some applause in the audience from the Baltimore Ravens. Oh man, what a game Monday night. I've said it once, I'll say it again. The Baltimore Ravens are my favorite fall TV show. It's got everything. It's got drama. It's got me yelling at the TV for a lot of the time. It's got some heart. It's got some humor. It's got some goofs. It's got some gags, spoofs, splaffs, whatever, you know. But man, it is just, they're so fun to watch, and I think they've been playing more primetime games than I feel like I've ever seen them play before. They were on Monday Night Football twice already, Sunday night. I think they got like 3 or 4 more primetime games, and rightfully so. I think the league knows it, that they're like really fun to watch, and I mean, it's really Lamar Jackson, it's really Justin Tucker, just putting on a show. I mean, history, world record setting. I almost said world record. I don't know. Maybe it is a world record. Record setting longest field goal from Tucker. Lamar Jackson put up 442 yards on Monday night. I mean, gosh, they're so fun to watch. And I actually got NFL Sunday Pass this for the first time, so I could actually watch the games. And this is the first time in college that I've actually, every time they've played, I've sat down and watched each game. And I just forgot how fun football is. Like, man, it's just such a good time. I love screaming at my TV. Number one passion. But speaking of 442 yards for Lamar Jackson, what was that? The Will Weeaboos are 4-1. Okay, some applause from the audience. Thank you, audience. Thank you, audience. Yeah, so we're only second in the division right now. We still got a problem with a mutual of the show, Jason Furman. He's 5-0 right now in the league, but he's gonna lose. We're gonna beat him next time. He's the only team to beat me, and you know what? It was a fluke. It was week 1. I didn't know who my stars were. I didn't play Cup, who has been going crazy for the Rams, except for last week. Or maybe it was the week before. But you know what? I'm a strong team. I think I have the most points for in the league. So Casey and Cam, you can suck on that. Let's see what else. Cam, let's talk about Casey and Cam's fantasy teams. Okay. Cam, I'm scared of Cam. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. Cam has a pretty good team. He's putting up points consistently. He's also 4-1. I worry about him, but Casey's team, now Casey and I play each other this week, and let's just say I'm the projected winner. Okay, audience applause, thank you. Some NFL teams, okay, thank you. But I think it's gonna be a good game regardless. Casey's scary. He can sometimes throw up 170 points one game out of nowhere, but sometimes you can bust and do like 90 points. He almost lost to an 0-5 team, who was basically just on auto draft, had not checked their team in weeks. So Cam actually was the one updating their team. A little camera shake. Oh, audience like the camera shake. But yeah, so I think those are really my thoughts on fantasy, the Ravens. I'm just really looking forward to the rest of the season. I'm looking forward to taking home the crown for the Will Weeaboos. And you know what? Maybe we're going to change the name. I promise the audience, if we get the championship this year, we're changing the name for Will Weeaboos. And we're going to let the Pipin' Hot Ones fans vote on what my new team name should be if I win the championship. So I don't have anything to plug for myself. Hope to be back on the corner later in the season, giving some updates. And let's go 15-1. 15-1? I think we can do it. Thanks for having me on the show, guys. I don't have a sound effect, so
And we're back. I broke out this jersey. I know. Notoriously, I'm a Jets fan on this podcast. I'm a Jets fan out of this podcast as well. But the Ravens are number 2. You gotta have a number two team. You're allowed to have a number 2 team. I'm still Jets all the way. I'll always ride the Jets. But I got this jersey for like $5, and I do love watching the Ravens. They're very entertaining. And the Jets suck, so let me have a team that wins, okay? Sorry,
yeah, this is, what is it about the teams we support? I feel like for a while we were doing well with, like, we had the Ravens, we had the Seahawks.
On too right now.
That's unfair. How do you have football dogs?
Fan who
Tighten up.
lost to the
Shut
Jets.
That's crazy.
And
Excuse
we were there.
Excuse me.
We were there.
Excuse me.
You know, it's wild we're all sitting here. Are we all sitting here with losing
I don't
records?
care. We had a good game.
Excuse me.
What?
We all got to get better teams. I think we all have losing records right now. Will is the only person who supports a team with a winning record.
Titans have a
winning record.
Are they? I thought they were also
Right.
2-3.
3-2.
I thought 3-2. Damn it. Well, Jaran
Is
wins this
Washington
round.
2-3?
The Seahawks are 2-3 right now
Oh,
because of
yeah.
Jaren's
Okay.
Titans. It's a painful season. It's a bad season to be a Seahawks fan. But we're killing it in fantasy, as Will said. I do have the scariest team in the league. So even if the Seahawks aren't doing that well, I'm about to come home with the fantasy football championship.
I don't appreciate. So Will didn't know that Jaran was on the pod, so Jaran got away scot-free.
No. I think that was purposeful.
I have to
He didn't
agree.
even
I think that
say it in the beginning.
I think that was intentional.
I think
No,
Will's
I
trying
think
to
that was-
jinx himself
'cause-
later on.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He knows what happened last year. It's okay.
All right.
Finished outside the playoff
All
four.
right.
You know, I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing. You know, he did beat me this week. I'll give him his props. Not this week. 2 weeks ago. I'll give him his props.
Oh, yeah,
He
I
did.
play him this week.
He did beat me.
I'm a little nervous. I think I have a solid team. I don't think I have a great team. My QB1 was Russ, who's out, but my QB2's Dak, so I'm not too
Yeah, you'll
worried
be
about that. My RB1 was Dalvin Cook, who is currently out, but may be back next week.
RB1's out too. Yeah.
So I do tend to bust a good amount. I would say like most weeks I've gotten like 110 to 120, and then I've had like one week where I got like 160 or something. So I'm a little nervous. I'm worried that my team's on the decline as opposed to rising. But we can hope for the best.
I mean, this happened last season with you too, but all 4 of us here. Let's just give a shout out to the 4 people present on this episode because we're in an 8-person league and the 4 of us made the championships last season, so we are kind of the best in our league. Let's try and keep that energy going this time around.
That's very true. That is very true.
Will has more sound effects than we do.
Actually, wait, no, it was JB in the championship. Yeah, Will. Yeah, see, this year maybe, but not yet. I forgot it was JB, but that's my bad.
I thought you meant like in your apartment, like in my apartment and your apartment currently.
I mean that too. The people live on this episode were all in the championship last season. Will was speaking a lot of facts about this season, but it is worth noting that he was in the losers bracket last season, so he's here for redemption this season. But
very true.
I think I don't want to make this episode too petty or anything, but I think I've beaten both of you in fantasy so far.
I think you should shut your goddamn.
So I'm just saying, I think I'm seeing a repeat performance from me this season, but I don't know about you guys. What's happening? We're letting down the division. We're about to have 3 representatives from their division, 1 from ours. It's disappointing, fellas.
It's a slow build up. It's exactly what happened to me last year. I started like 0-3. Ended up I honestly should have met you in the championship, Cam, because I think I lost to JB on like it was like a touchdown, like it was an overtime touchdown or something like that.
It was
should have won if I had just started. If I had just started DeAndre Hopkins, I would have made the championship.
You sit DeAndre Hopkins?
And then I forgot who started in front of him, but then I think in the the next round when y'all were playing in the championship, outscored both of y'all. Actually, outscored both of y'all by a minute. So like, let's be real. Technically, if I was a better coach,
if I didn't suck as bad,
if I was a better coach,
won.
it would have been a done deal. But we're trying to get it right this year because I haven't found it. I haven't found my rhythm yet. So I got demolished by Jason.
This is the first.
Not a good
Jason. Okay,
Not a
Will
first
brought
week
up
of
Jason a
my
little
bench
bit,
has
so it's
gone
worth discussing. Jason, we didn't do great last season. It was his first season in fantasy somehow. He's the biggest football fan we all know, and he had never done fantasy before.
I don't know.
Second
why.
season, he's coming out with heat. All right, I don't know who or what. I don't know what he did over the offseason or who informed him.
I also started 5-0 last season. I only got 4th.
Well, you did lose to Alex that season too. I don't know if Jason's gonna be losing to Alex this season.
And I'll tell you why. Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Henry. The Tennessee Titans are the one
Henry.
reason. Yeah. Because I remember I was gonna get him, and he went right before me, or he went near me in the draft.
I do remember that.
And he knew exactly what he was doing, because I think I had said I was gonna get him, and so he took him.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
the Tennessee Titans are the sole reason, not the Baltimore Ravens. And his name is the Raging Ravens. Yet he's depending on the Tennessee Titans
Does he have
to
any
take that 5-0
Does
slot.
he have any Ravens?
He has Mark Andrews.
He has Andrews, yeah.
That's what I thought.
And I'm not talking smack about him because he killed me this week. But I will say last season it was a shutout. It was a shutout. So so he's getting his vengeance. I get it. I'm still 2-1 against him overall. So like
we got an extra game this season.
That's right.
So that adds to
True.
it too.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a very interesting continuation to the season. I could see some upsets happening for sure. I also think Will brought up the NFL at large. One of the reasons I'm rooting for the Ravens a lot this season is because they are very fun to watch. They have some
They're
great
the most entertaining to watch
games.
team to watch right
One
now.
of the okay.
yeah.
Honestly, they created my most enjoyable fantasy experience so far because I was playing a Deet, and I think it was week 1 because the Ravens were playing the Raiders, and I had the Ravens defense, and he had Devin Waller, and it was really close, and we kept going back and forth. It was like 2 points, and then it went into overtime, and I was like, God damn it! I was like, Devin Waller's gonna get a touchdown or something, and I was losing by 1. It was like the Baltimore defense had -1 points, and I was losing. And it was when the Raiders were like on the line.
Oh, and they picked it off.
And then the Ravens picked it off, which means I got more points. And then the Raiders still scored, but because of that, the Ravens got a 0 as opposed to a -1, and I won the game.
Damn. Damn.
by like I think I won by like 0.6 or something.
I feel like that's how your like fantasy luck goes. It's like you win by very slim margins.
I win by very slim margins. I kind of
It works for you, though.
But then there are some weeks where I get like 140 and the person I'm playing only gets like 100,
Yeah,
and I
like-
would have
like,
beaten
that was like
everybody
me.
else
Yeah,
that week.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
It is a total crapshoot. This week my bench went off. Dalvin Cook like sat out with like 30 minutes before the game, so I like didn't have enough time to switch because I was at work.
Oh.
And then the Ravens defense didn't get any points, and
Mhm.
so or the Saints, I forget who I started. Whoever it was didn't get any points, but Myles Gaskin somehow got 34 points on my bench, and
Damn.
Antonio
When that
Brown
happens.
got 2 touchdowns.
I hate when that happens.
One of which was like 70 yards, and so he got like 26 or
I
something.
hate that happened to
It's the
me
worst.
this week too.
So I would have beat JB
the
if I
worst
started
pain.
those two. If I started one of those, I would have beat JB, I think.
Yeah, that's
But
the
Cam,
worst
I give
pain.
you credit. I give you credit. You've done
Appreciate
you've
yours.
done
Pain.
consistently so far. You've done consistently well. I give you props. I asked Casey like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, why is Cam like always in the running? Like whether it's like last year, March Madness, which I won. Just want to say,
Yeah,
just
I
want
can't believe
hold
you
on.
did so well
Just
in
wanna
March
say,
Madness.
March Madness was kind of
I
crazy
wanna say
last
that.
year for me.
My March Madness was ass.
Which I won.
Yeah,
I just want to
mine
throw that
was-
out there.
Mine was terrible.
I'm going for the crown in March again, back to back.
This
But
last
I
year-
will. But
Okay,
sorry,
okay,
sorry,
go,
sorry,
go,
sorry.
go, go.
But yeah, but Cam, but you actually, I don't know how, but like somehow it's you're the league's Achilles heel somehow, some way.
I don't know what
It's like-
it is. I don't, I wish I could say that it was like experience or knowledge, but I do not follow college basketball and I did not follow the NFL that closely in the offseason. So, I mean, shoot.
Okay. Bring up March Madness. We're gonna have a March Madness episode. So we started the
Mhm.
podcast, I think, right after March Madness, and I wanted to do a March Madness episode, because this was the first March Madness year where I wasn't in school, so I had a ton of time when they announced it. So I spent like 3 days like evaluating all the teams because I had nothing to do because I was working at a school. I had nothing to do for 8 hours during the day. I had no responsibilities, so I was just researching the teams, and I by far did the worst I have ever done. Like I was
Bro.
like, I was so confident in my picks. I was like, I got this shit. I know who's good. I know who's not. I
You
think
picked Illinois, right?
I think I picked Illinois. I think
Yeah.
I picked like one upset that happened, and then the rest not at all. I think I picked Alabama to get upset first round or something.
Oh yeah, by Iona or
Um,
something. Yeah.
And I did, and I think March Madness. I actually think the less you know, the better.
I think that might be
All the
true
teams
because
involved.
my strat could not be more different than yours. Like, my first experience with college football that season was filling out my March Madness bracket. And I went like pair by pair, being like, what does my gut tell me? Like, if I flipped a coin, who do I think would land?
That's how you
Smart.
go.
And that's how I
you
chose
you
all
gotta do it that
32
way.
like brackets. But the thing that's crazy is like as much as like as successful my bracket was in the one we did, I made a nearly identical bracket at work. I did with like there were like 3 or 4 other people at work who did it, and I got like dead last. Like everyone at work was cracked, like all batting like
Dang,
70
wow.
80% correctness like pretty late into March Madness. So I don't know if it's just like
Jeez.
I don't know if it's a Kanice thing.
It's
I don't
all-
know
I
if
mean,
it
it's
just
luck.
rubs
It-
off on you after
it's
enough
totally luck,
exposure. But it's crazy.
But I will say I follow college basketball pretty like a lot.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I had a pretty decent understanding of like the trends of like who's the most likely to get upset and who's the most likely to advance. I did not see
I thought I
UCLA coming.
did.
I did
Oh,
not
me
see
neither.
UCLA
I don't
coming.
think anybody did.
But yeah, no, I'm excited to take those skills to the season 2 and come out back to back champions.
We'll do a March
Um,
Madness episode. I
Oh, yeah.
love March Madness. So
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's so fun. Even if that's the thing about like
Jared?
with fantasy is it kind of demands that you know what's going on. March Madness, you could have
Agreed.
no idea what's going on and it's still so fun for like the
Well,
entire
with March
month.
Madness,
Yeah,
it's just a tournament as opposed to fantasy, which
True.
is the
Yeah.
whole season. And fantasy,
That's true.
because also March Madness is like if the team wins, you win. But fantasy like doesn't function that way. Like you have to
That's a good
know
point.
the ins and outs of like who's doing well. Like a team can lose by 30 points. I think because Myles Gaskin's on the Dolphins, they lost by I think 30 that week or something
Mhm.
last week.
But yeah, posted up those kind of
But Myles
numbers.
Gaskin,
Yeah.
got 30 because he got the team's only 2 touchdowns.
It's crazy. Yeah, I'm excited for March Madness this year. It's always a good time.
I will also I would spend this time normally because we're talking about football. I would spend it talking about the Jets. I have nothing to say.
Yeah, me neither.
They
I
are
can't talk about
bad, like expected.
They beat the Titans.
They beat the Titans.
I must say,
and
which is a very
they
heartbreaking.
looked good that game. Their O-line looked really good, and their defense looked really good.
We also look bad.
And I think when you correct, Titans looked bad. When Zach Wilson is given the confidence to throw, like when the team gives him confidence and lets him throw despite the interceptions, I think he does well. But other than that, they're bad. They're going to be bad for a little while. They're probably going to be bad for a long time still. But I'm hoping that they have the strength and the wherewithal to stick with it as opposed to abandoning it after 3 years. So that's my little hope. My hope for the Jets is that instead of abandoning it after 2 years and then starting a rebuild again, actually rebuild and spend like 5 or 6 years, and if it doesn't work, then get rid of it.
Yeah.
But I will watch the Ravens because the Ravens are putting on a show.
Yeah, they are.
Exciting.
That Chiefs game, I watched it with my dad. Came up and watched it with me because he was like driving me. I was like home that weekend, and we watched it at a sports bar, and that was so fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was a great game.
Great game.
That was fantastic. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it seems like they're always on like prime time.
Mm-hmm.
They've
Like
had
this year.
3 primetime games. There've been 5 games. this
Yeah,
season.
that's,
5
that's
games.
pretty
Most
cool.
of their games have been on primetime.
That's pretty cool. I wonder why. Like, I don't know.
Like,
I mean, they've been
They're
backing
putting on
up
a
the
good show, and
hype. They've had really exciting
They
games
have
every single
all of
time. It's
theirs.
crazy.
The only game that wasn't exciting from them was Denver. It was like, it was more of a shutout. But like,
Yeah.
first game, overtime, called back a touchdown, interception in the end zone. Second game, I think it was the Chiefs, right? So that was the
Mhm.
fumble at 20 seconds to go or whatever, and then a minute to go, 4th down conversion by Lamar. Then the Denver game, then the 66-yard field goal to end the game,
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
another overtime game after a 19-point comeback. So
It's ridiculous.
Ravens
They're so
are.
exciting.
Shout out
to
If
watch.
Justin.
if you're a casual football fan, I do recommend watching the Ravens. They are putting on some good games.
They are.
Or if your
They are.
team just
The
isn't
NFL
playing well
in
this
general
season.
is exciting this game.
That's
season.
very true. That's
the
very
NFL
true.
is very exciting this season. I mean, even
Mhm.
despite the fact that Jaren's butthurt about the Jets winning, that was an exciting game. It was a good game.
It was a great game. It was really
It's
sad.
just you were on the short end of the stick.
I mean, even if we had won that game, I would have been sad because of the
That's
fact that
true.
it went into
true.
overtime. But
I just think that and the fact that the Chiefs are like 2-3, like that's
Mhm.
I
exciting.
didn't expect that, and I have
know?
Patrick Mahomes as my quarterback.
The Chargers, I would love if the Chargers did well. That'd be fun.
They're doing
Oh, that'd be
amazing
sick.
right now.
They're doing
They-
great.
Both LA teams.
I
Shout out
have-
LA.
I think we also maybe we'll talk about it at some point. Yeah, Cam's division. He's upset.
Oh, that's right. My bad. My
Um,
bad. Seahawks. My bad.
It's
And they have a
it's all
division.
good.
Cardinals are putting on a show. Cardinals are also doing really.
I actually
hot.
I don't even really
I-
mind the Rams and Cardinals that much. It's just the 49ers. Like, I'm just glad the 49ers
True.
are also pretty bad this year because I was like, that would
You
hurt
don't like
so
the 49ers?
Yeah,
Nah,
they're
I don't.
rivals, I think,
Oh,
right?
are they really?
It's like-
Okay, I didn't know that.
much. Yeah, it's like Cardinals, Rams. I think are supposed to have a little bit of beef, but it's like Seahawks, 49ers. I would say is like the second or third best rivalry in the NFL, I think. And like
Oh,
recently,
wow. Oh, that's
like
pretty cool.
the last 10 years was the first time we've ever been good enough to compete with them. So like it's been pretty fun to watch us like slap
Yeah.
them around the last
Nice.
couple of years. But
Yeah.
I think though I just think that the whole Jaron and I made predictions prior to the season starting.
I said Cardinals.
Thursday
NFC
game.
Championship.
You said Cardinals. I said Rams. So
So either one.
So either one could happen.
Yeah.
I think I had the Chargers making the playoffs. I don't remember how far.
That'd
I
be
had them
fun.
going.
Justin Herbert's a gift.
Because I
He's
think I had
incredible.
Bills Titans in the. I think my championship games were Bills Titans,
I had Titans.
Rams Bucks, and then Bills
Mhm.
Bucks Super Bowl with a Bills win.
yeah, who would be your updated
despite being
like
in
Final
the-
Four? Not to use March Madness
My
terminology,
updated Final
but-
Four would maybe be Chargers Bills. Maybe even Chargers Ravens. I kind of see the Bills choking as opposed to making it to the championship again.
Chargers.
Or they
Bills would
didn't.
be- would
They
be
made it to
cool.
the divisional, right, last year?
Who?
Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The
maybe
the AFC Championship.
they made it to the championship. Oh,
Yeah.
Titans didn't. Right.
Titans lost to the Ravens.
So
in
I would
the
say
divisional.
maybe my updated would be Titans Chargers or Ravens Chargers. And I see the Bills choking in the divisional. And then I think I would stick with Rams Bucks for the NFC. I think I can see that happen.
NFC's a little. Yeah, I'm more confident about the NFC than I am.
Yeah.
About the AFC is very much up in the air.
It's totally up in the
Because
air.
like I forgot.
the Bengals are good.
The
What
Bengals are
fuck?
like the Browns have done. What,
Yeah.
like Pittsburgh's kind of fallen off, which I'm so happy about.
Yeah, fuck
I
Pittsburgh.
cannot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
Not a fan.
But it's weird. Yeah. I mean, I think I don't know. We'll see. I think the Titans can still. I think they
do
can still
well.
shop
think they
because
could.
well.
Julio Jones has been out for 3 weeks now. Like I
Yeah.
think when they get their
Exactly.
when they get everybody back, I think they're gonna come alive. So
I will say that I think the Ravens are the Titans, I think, are more consistent in their game plan than the Ravens are, and I think that may hurt the Ravens down the road because the Ravens are so inconsistent with how they play that they tend to win by like really kind of miraculous margins. So they may end up that may hurt them in the future, whereas the Titans like know their game plan and know how to execute it.
Ground and pound.
But maybe that helps the Ravens because no one knows how to play against them. You think that they're gonna run with Lamar for 200 yards, and instead he throws for 400, despite having very little receiving options. So who knows? That might help them. Whereas the Titans, it's easier to kind of determine how to play them. But
I'm glad it's not the Chiefs though. I can't even lie. I like Patrick
I like
Mahomes.
the Chiefs though. I don't mind if they win a few, but if they don't, that's exciting still.
No, exactly. Like not back to back to back. Like I'd rather they can. They'll go back. Like they'll definitely go back. He'll get it. Yeah.
I'm a little worried that Mahomes is gonna hit a Russ situation.
Dude, the parallels between their careers is actually
very close.
It's eerie.
Where
they almost have the exact same trajectory.
Patrick Mahomes has a different style of play than Russ. I think they're both as electric as they I think Russ was pretty electric early on in his career, just not quite as
when was his first
Mahomes
year?
his first year was
what? It was 2012. Yeah, it was 2012.
Oh, and then they went to the
Super Bowl, won. Then they went to the Super Bowl again and lost.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, New England,
and then they never went back. And I am curious to see if because Russ is one of the best QBs in the league, and that still doesn't mean you make it to the playoffs or you make it to the Super Bowl. Whereas Mahomes, best QB in the league, that doesn't mean that he's going to make it back.
Where do y'all think Russ ranks in the league?
Currently or
currently?
Top 10. I
top
wouldn't
10.
put him in top
I was going to say top 10.
I wouldn't
don't
put him
know
in
if I would
top
say top 5. Yeah.
Right now. I think he's a little older.
I would say
we got so many younger guys.
I would say Russell Wilson is top 3, and here's my main reasoning why. If you compare, if you were to say that Mahomes was one of the best QBs in the league, if you switch Mahomes and Wilson, you put Wilson on the Chiefs and Mahomes on the Seahawks, Wilson could get to the Super Bowl with the Chiefs. Mahomes could not get to the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. On a worse team, Russell Wilson does better. What he's had to deal with on the Seahawks has limited how far he can go. But if you gave him a semi-decent O-line and some good wide receivers at the same time, he would consistently be making winning in the playoffs. And Mahomes has always been surrounded by talent.
I have a question as a
let's keep this going because I'm just gonna hit record again. We like talking about football, so we're just gonna keep talking.
I have a question as a response.
You can turn the episode off.
So
okay.
would you say
I'll be taking questions now.
Yeah. So would you say the same thing about Justin Herbert or Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield or I guess Lamar Jackson? Could you say the same? Do you think you could say the same thing?
See, I wouldn't.
Ryan Tannehill
team, you mean?
Right.
They would do better on a
better
team.
like doing better.
I think
that same argument about Russ and Patrick.
Obviously, I think any quarterback would do a lot better on a team as good as the Chiefs have been recently. But what I think makes Russ's case so much stronger is the fact that he's made such a name for himself having to make those emergency plays that I don't think any other quarterback could make. So as soon as Russell doesn't have to rely on his own innate talent to create plays and he can just actually play his natural game, which has in the past been pretty historically amazing, I think he would actually win playoff games. But the fact that he's constantly relied upon to make up for the mistakes of the O-line or to make up for the mistakes of his defense in recent years, it's held him back. He's been carrying the team. The only reason we've gotten to the playoffs is Russell. If you gave the Seahawks a mediocre quarterback, we're going 8-8 every season. So once you put Russell on a team that isn't consistently making mistakes that he is solely responsible for making up for, easy 13-3, 14-2 type seasons for sure.
I disagree a little bit because I think Mahomes is a bad example for this because without their quarterback, I actually think the Chiefs and the Seahawks, at least offensively, are fairly similar teams. The Chiefs, or at least compared to last year, the Chiefs O-line was pretty bad last year, and that was exemplified in the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh!
And Mahomes' receivers couldn't catch that game. Russ, if you put Mahomes on the Seahawks, I think you could definitely make it to the playoffs, if not the Super Bowl. I mean, the receiving core of Lockett and Metcalf is great. I just think they don't know how to use Metcalf right now for some odd reason.
Agreed.
He's been popping off recently, though.
and-
On my fantasy team.
That's my
weird.
boy. Shout out to
He's been
DK
popping off
Metcalf.
recently.
Yeah, on my
Well, because they've
fantasy team,
switched.
Yeah.
It's like they either go to
It's
go
either
to Lockett or
Metcalf.
Metcalf. They don't split
don't do
per
both.
game. They like do one
Yeah,
game each.
That's true.
Um,
That's true.
And that tends to happen with the Chiefs a little bit too. And then I also think like
Tyreek Hill. Yeah.
Chris Carson and Edwards-Helaire are like fairly similar. Like they're both like consistently good, but they're not like top
Injured,
5.
Yeah.
So I think that that's maybe a bad example. I do think Russ would do better on a better team, obviously, with a better O-line. And I do think you're right. He is forced to make up for a lot of those mistakes. But I don't think that negates the fact that he's not one of the most, just currently, not necessarily all the time. I think he's a wildly underrated QB because I think he has a better like pocket presence, traditional QB passing ability than some of the more, than like Lamar or Josh Allen or whatnot. Maybe that's a bad example. Josh Allen is pretty good in the pocket, but I also think Josh Allen's a little bit overrated, but maybe that's a hot take.
Divisional
I
bias.
Put him in
We'll
top
let it
5.
slide.
Divisional bias, correct.
Yeah,
Divisional
okay.
bias. That's fine. That's okay. I'll take that. I will say if they play the Bucks in the Super Bowl, I will be rooting for the Bills. I don't hate rooting for the Bills because they've been bad for so long. So it's like, you know what? Whatever. As long as they don't stay good.
They look very good.
They look very good.
They have looked mean.
Blew out the Chiefs nearly. Like
I would put Russ in
Alright.
top 10 though for sure. Because I also think right now I would put the Russ spot like with a similar style of play, but right now just a little bit elevated to Dak. If I'm being honest.
Okay, I have several counterpoints to these counterpoints.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
I feel like the first one that I want to address is the Chiefs had one of the best O-lines last season, but they had 2 of their starters out for the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was not reflective of the O-line they had that entire season with the protection he had.
That shows my
The second thing that I
ignorance from
think
watching the Chiefs.
The second thing we're not talking about that I think it is the most important when we're talking about Russ's career is coaching staff. Russ has always played on a run-first specific type team, which worked well in the beginning of his career. Like, I don't hate the fact that Pete Carroll's our head coach. He's done very well with us. But at this point, like, the cracks have become major problems. Like, Russell Wilson deserves to be on a team that is not run first. And someone like
Sure.
Oh my God, what is his name? Andy Reid for the Chiefs. Like, what he's been able to do with Mahomes, if he could do that with Russ and combine that with Russ's ability to extend plays and make up stuff when shit goes wrong, with the talents of like Tyreek Hill and especially Travis Kelce, when Wilson has a good tight end, it's over. Like when Disley was really good a couple of seasons ago, like we were cracked. And now that we have 2 wide receivers that are really good, we just never use the tight end. So all of the, electric plays have to go like 40 yards downfield. I think it's still Disley, but he's just getting older.
Okay.
But like if you gave Russell Wilson like Travis Kelce, like we saw what happens when a quarterback has a good tight end. Look at Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson the other night. They went off for like how many yards, how many points in real life and in fantasy. Like I really do think that like Russell, as good as he's been held back by like mediocrity in coaching and in like O-line. So I stand by my point.
That is fair. That is totally fair. And this is a very subjective counter. But I do think that no, and that makes a lot of sense. I think experience carries you a long way. Also,
True.
like I know we've had that conversation I think before. I think that like on top of the so many other younger, evolving quarterbacks like at the moment, I think that the good quarterbacks can win kind of despite the situation, like despite the coaching, despite the team's like presence. I think like it comes down to leadership. And I'm not knocking him as a leader, but I do think that to say like a top 3 quarterback would be someone who can kind of lead despite the team's inconsistencies or mediocrity. That's my only counter. But I respect like that point. Like cuz that is true. Like that is very true. Like I'm not familiar with like Seattle's like style of play like that or like their history, like coaching history and stuff. So like so I can't like attest to that. But that's like my reason for not putting him in top 3, I guess. Because there's so many quarterbacks like, and I mean there's like besides Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, like Aaron Rodgers and I mean Lamar Jackson and I mean Baker Mayfield. I mean I'm not a Baker
really
Mayfield
like
fan.
Baker.
Oh, you do? Oh my bad.
I was gonna say I think one of my hot takes is I would put Baker in my top 5 right now.
I haven't really seen him play this year actually. So
I just think his ability to I credit, at least 30% of the Browns' turnaround on Baker Mayfield. I think he brings a lot to the culture, and I think that's the telltale sign of a good quarterback is being a good leader. And he always comes in with a chip on his shoulder, but is able to prove that he's still good, and he plays that sort of like cocky character. I think the Browns have kind of taken like after that, and so I think he's able to command that team, and he's taken a really bad team to really good places, and I don't think it's just the coach. I think a lot of it is him. So I would put him in my top 5. Maybe not top 3. I'm tempted to put him in top 3, but I think I'd probably put him at like 5.
Who is top 3 then?
It's hard because I want to put Mahomes, but I think the like we've been talking about cracks. I think the cracks
We going
on Mahomes
Jameis
is
Winston. We're
showing.
going Gardner Minshew, and we're going Blake
Jameis
Bortles.
Winston looks
3
good.
for 3.
Trevor Lawrence. Let's go.
Trevor Lawrence,
Zach Wilson.
Joe
Zach
Burrow.
Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow looks good. though.
He's coming up.
I
He
think
does look good. Him and Jamar Chase are
cracks in
cracked.
Mahomes' game is
Yeah,
starting to
geez.
show.
What is?
The cracks in Mahomes' game is starting to show. I think that he plays this style of backyard football that at least this season, Kyler is playing better. Because Kyler is able to be a
Oh, I
bit
forgot
more
about Kyler Murray.
specific with it.
Kyler might be the
And
number 1 right now. It's been crazy.
Kyler might be the
Yeah,
number 1
he's
right now.
balling.
And I think that like
He's balling.
I just think that Mahomes, like when the pocket collapses, instead of falling, instead of running out, he tends to run back, which kind of hurts him because he knows that he can throw it that far and still accurately. But then this time I think part of me feels like his focus might be a little off from the Super Bowl because he's been throwing some pretty weak interceptions that he should be better than. So this season, I would maybe put Baker 5 and Mahomes 4. And I would put maybe, Lamar 3, because I think his game is a little bit inconsistent sometimes too. This is hard, because I also kind of want to put Dak up there this season. Dak looks really good. Dak might be 6, though. It's really hard to discredit Brady.
I was gonna say, you got it.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is top 5 this year. Again, my divisional bias does not want to put Allen up there.
I think Kyler Murray and Tom Brady's like a fair argument.
I think I would put Brady, Kyler. Lamar and Brady could go back and forth, but I think just Brady's experience probably puts him a little bit ahead of Lamar. So I would go Kyler, Brady, Lamar, Mahomes, Mayfield as my top 5 currently. Which is maybe a little bit of a whack list. I don't know if Stephen A. Smith would be a fan of it. But
Stephen A. Smith
I've
might
got
pop
power
off on you a little bit, but
I think I can back it
But
up. I can
shout
back
out
it
to
up
the
now.
Cowboys though. Even though I'm not a huge Cowboys fan, like they're really popping off too. Like they
And I
They've
forgot
turned
about
it around.
Herbert
they
too.
look
They're a
very
threat.
They look very good. Like
Yeah.
like Mike McCarthy is like doing his thing, and
So
I also
they're
know like
they're letting Zeke
and
run.
Zeke's
They're giving
yeah,
Zeke a
Zeke's
chance.
having like a great year, and like Dak is like overperforming.
Wait, I'm curious where you guys
Very
are at with at least top 3. You don't have to do top 5 you don't want, but
Top 3 quarterbacks.
top 3 QBs right now. Currently, right now, week 5 of the NFL.
Kyler, this is not in order, but
Okay.
Kyler, Brady, and
Tannehill.
no. Yeah, no. I mean, this is based off of what I've seen. I guess as much as I don't want to, I would say Lamar.
So we have the
I
same top 3.
think.
All right. all
Yeah.
right. Where are you at, Cam? Because you have Russ at 3 probably.
Or Herbert.
Herbert.
Herbert's been
Herbert,
good.
too.
I think he and Lamar are very close.
Herbert might be in my top 5 also.
In terms of
I don't
like
know.
right now in the season, and not just like kind of just overall talent, but like as of week, what is this, 5 or 6 in the NFL?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Lamar is number 1. I don't think any other quarterback would
Okay.
have the talent or wherewithal it took to have this, like, all of these comebacks and stuff. Like, there's something about
That's true.
Lamar.
That
That's
is
true.
true.
I think he has such
Good
a chip
argument.
on his shoulder from everyone being like, you're a choker in the playoffs. And I think he came back this season being like, man, fuck you guys. Like, I'm going to bring it back, and I'm going
I
to tell
would
y'all what
love
I'm
to see him
about.
Go far.
Like, he's done
I
so
love seeing
well.
That man happy.
I think he's got to be number
Confidence
1.
shows too with that 4th and 2 play, and he was just like,
Mhm.
"We're gonna go for it," and he takes that snap. That shows that he's willing to be a leader.
And he's getting better. Like I will
He's
give
getting
him that.
better.
He's getting
I don't
better.
understand
like,
how
it's-
it's possible.
My thing with Lamar, my big criticism in the past was Lamar because I love him. I think he's one. I think he is one of the best QBs, if not the best. And he gets a lot of hate. And I think my only real criticism of him was that when the pocket collapses, instead of looking for a pass option, he always goes for the run, which isn't always the best option. and he's been sitting in the pocket a lot longer this season. Like he doesn't when something doesn't go right, he doesn't always look for the run. He actually does look for the pass, and a lot of times it gets him a first down or a touchdown. Like when you saw that play with Mark Andrews for the touchdown, he was in the pocket for like 5 seconds, and they were right up on him. I mean, the line looked great. The line held him, but in another year, I think he probably would have run for it because that was like a 5-yard run. But there was some defenders right on the line, so I think that he made a good choice. And I think, he's getting a lot more experience, and I think he could get even better, which is scary.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, because he's already very he was already great, and so
he's been doing.
He hasn't. I don't even think he's tapped. Yeah, and he hasn't even tapped into like.
I don't think he's reached his potential
yet.
No,
not at all. Well, you have a lot of these quarterbacks are kind of plateauing. Like, I'm not gonna say Patrick Mahomes is doing that, but like. Maybe Patrick Mahomes is doing that.
Too early to say, but I
too early. Yeah, but like there are a lot of quarterbacks now where besides I think Herbert's on the rise right now, but like and Kyler, but there are a lot of some of these quarterbacks. They come in, they have like a couple good seasons, and then it's kind of a little bit of a drop off. Yeah, like Lamar's he kind of came in to his credit, like already very keen and very aware.
Yeah, MVP first year.
MVP first year. Yeah. His pocket presence has significantly increased.
Oh yeah.
So he's good. Gosh, he's so fast. It's unreal. So it's kind of nerve wracking as within the AFC to see where he's gonna go. I wish the Titans had someone like that because Ryan Tannehill, I'm not sold on
drafted him.
I'm not sold on Ryan Tannehill.
Could have drafted him.
But that's another hot take.
All right. So who's your 2 and 3? And then we'll wrap it up.
Number 2, I got to go Kyler. I hate saying it because he's a divisional rival, but Kyler's been playing incredibly. Even though he does look like a toddler when he starts running, it's an effective little thing he's got going on. It's elite.
It's so funny.
Now, number 3 is a little bit.
Like 5'9" or something.
Yeah. Number 3 is a little devil's advocate. A little bit. I don't know if I would say that genuinely he's the 3rd best talent in the league. But what he's done with a team that was supposed to be like 0-17 or whatever, 0-16 at the end of the season, I'm giving it to Jalen Hurts. There's no reason he should be pulling this Eagles team
he looks good.
along.
He looks good.
He's been doing incredibly well after everyone was talking about who do the Eagles have at a quarterback? They had Jalen Hurts. He's been doing incredibly well.
But I do think
and they got a sucky team. I mean,
they got a bad team. They have him and Devonta Smith, and that's it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a very fair point. Jalen,
I got respect for Jalen.
In my top 10. The quarterbacks look good this season. Most of the quarterbacks look good, even the bad ones. Look like they have potential.
Drew Lock, yeah.
Also, I want to give a shout out to Stafford. I know he's in your division. I love Stafford. I think that he is consistently.
I kind of wouldn't mind if he got a ring.
Credit for it.
I would not mind if Stafford got a ring with the Rams.
I've always said he's one of the best QBs in the league, and he never gets the credit he deserves because he was on the Lions. Now he has a good team around him, and look at him. He looks great.
Yeah.
I think he had a bad game last
He had a bad game against the Hawks, but most of the other games he's been really good. So.
But he is consistently really great.
I saw him against the Bucks, and he really.
I think he's one of the remaining members of the old guard. I think of the old guard, I think he might be the best. Obviously hard to discredit Brady, but
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I put him higher than Rodgers right now. I put him higher than I forget who else is in that class right now, but obviously Ben Roethlisberger. But
oh God, I'm so glad he's. I'm so glad. I hate to say that. I respect his career. I admire him as a person.
I don't.
But
I don't. But you got too many abuse cases against him to respect him as a person.
Oh, but that is true. Yeah, actually, no. I take all that back.
Fuck that guy.
I take that back because that's true. That's very true. Yeah, I can't stand. I'm so happy that I'm so happy he's on his last leg. I'm so happy. Gives me joy.
It's good to see. It's a joy to watch.
With that, I think this was a very successful episode. This is very good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys for having
me on the
this
show.
Great.
Thank you for bringing the bacon.
Of course.
We should just start an NFL podcast at this point.
We should actually.
I think we could kill it. I think the three of us could kill it.
I feel like we could do we could do NFL Sundays, Piping Hot edition, or commentate some games. I think that'd be fun. I feel like we know
Comment
just
down
enough.
below if you want us to commentate some games. That would be fun. You commentate Red Zone. Oh, I've wanted for a while. I want us to take a Sunday where none of us have anything to do and all hop on Discord and watch Red Zone together with our
that'd be
teams.
sick.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Either for the 3 hours of one game or all of them.
Or just
but,
all day.
and
That'd
that's
be
it.
super
The
fun.
camera just died. I was hoping we would make it before.
Just
the
me
camera
now,
died,
ladies and
but
gentlemen.
This is the end of the episode.
Hello, everyone
Thank you
watching
for
on
watching.
YouTube.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you guys. It was fun.
Thank you for
We
being on
always
the
end
show.
the episode with
So
cool.